bill. $50 bill. $50 bill. $50 bill.
Check your pockets and your grandparents' stash. Some error coins have been known to bring in some big money over the years, and we're going to take a look at some of the more popular ones that have sold anywhere from $42,000 up to over $1 million, so stay tuned. YouTube, how the heck are you? Welcome to another edition of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. This is episode number 96. As always, I can't thank you enough for checking out the new video, and if you'd like to help support this channel, then why not click on that thumbs up button, leave a comment, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Those actions really help the channel algos, and you know I humbly appreciate the support. Alright, I was talking back and forth with Neophyte Stacker the other day about variation and error coins, and it got me to thinking, what are some of the most valuable mint errors out there today? Now, as I mentioned in the intro, error coins are a huge market, and some of the rare ones generate some insane values in auction and private sales. I mean, this is a big money industry, folks, and if you want to play in this game, you'd better bring the cashier's check because these coins are going to cost you. Now, for me personally, I'm on the outside just looking into the insane world of these numismatics, and that's where I'm going to stay. I have absolutely no inclination to get into this stuff, but, you know, it's really fun to look at other people's stuff, right? Anyway, let's get ready to roll, and be sure to comment down below with your thoughts on these coins, and let me know if you have any cool error coins in your collection. I'd love to hear about it. Okay, before we get into some cool errors, let's go over some basic definitions of what constitutes an error coin. This slide's going to be pretty basic to experienced collectors, but I'm going to go over them just in case some aren't familiar. Now, that being said, errors can be generalized in a minimum of 3 basic categories, and they are strike errors. Striking is the step in the minting process where the design from the die is pressed onto the coin. And one of the most common strike errors is a misaligned or off-center strike. Second error is a die error. One common die error you might see is the doubling of design elements or the mismatching of 2 dies. And this is generally what's known as a mule coin. And the third error is known as a planchet error. So we all know a planchet is a blank that coins are struck from, but some examples of this error could include clip planchets that are the wrong shape, planchets that are the wrong thickness, and even planchets that are mistakenly left blank. So now that we know the 3 basic categories of mint errors, let's look at some cool and outrageously expensive error coins. I'm going to go over what each sold for in recent sales so you'll have an idea of the value. Now, there are more errors out there, but I'm going to cover the more popular ones that get the most attention. And we're going to go from lowest to highest value to kind of, build up the suspense a little bit. I know it's killing you. Bear in mind that some of these values may be outdated, so some of the coins you're about to see might have actually sold more recently for a lot more money. All right, here we've got an undated double struck Washington quarter. You can see it's on both sides. This one sold for $42,000. And here we've got an undated Walker that was struck on a steel cent planchet. This one sold for $44,000. This 1913 Buffalo nickel was struck on a dime planchet, and it sold for $46,000 big ones. This is a 1993 D cent struck with the dime reverse. This one went for $52,000. And here we've got a 1995 dime struck with a 1 cent obverse. This one sold for $58,000. And this is an 1859 Indian cent on an 1857 half dime obverse. That's nuts. This one sold for $72,000. All right, here's where we start getting into the big ones. This is a 1944 steel cent. As you might know, in 1944, the U.S. Mint resumed normal production of pennies made of copper because in 1943 they were made of steel due to the war. But an exceedingly scarce amount of 1944 Lincoln cents were accidentally struck with the leftover steel planchets. And even bad examples of this coin in rough shape will easily sell for $75,000 and up. It's crazy. And here we've got a 1904 double eagle that was struck off center by 15%. This one went for $79,000. All right, this one's pretty interesting. This is a 2000 P Sacagawea dollar, and Washington quarter mule. This one is rare. There's only 19 known examples of this era coin, and a recent version just sold for 88,000 big ones. And here's another crazy one. This is a 1999 cent with a dime reverse. You're not even going to believe what this one sold for, but it went for $138,000. I'm in the wrong business. So let's head on back to the World War II era. This is a 1943 copper cent. And as you know, again, we've already talked about it, due to World War II and the shortage of copper, the mint changed the composition of the penny from copper to steel. But a really small amount of 1943 pennies, they're thinking potentially 15 or less, were minted in copper instead of steel that year. So 1943 copper cents will easily sell for over 100K, but a recent private sale sold one for $1 million. $1 million. And it's just a bit funny that the mint repeated the same mistake in 1944, but in reverse, as we saw with the 1944 steel cent that was supposed to be copper. I mean, that's just crazy. All right, so we're up to honorable mention number 1, and it's honorable mention because it's hard to put a value on these. But if one does come up for sale, it would be big bucks. So here we've got a 1974 D, believe it or not, aluminum cent. Let me explain. During the last half of the 20th century, the U.S. Mint kind of experimented around with different materials to make coins. Ultimately, they picked copper-plated zinc for the Lincoln penny beginning in 1982. But one of the experimental metals that were rejected was an aluminum alloy. And once they were rejected, they were promptly destroyed. So they thought. Now look, however it may have happened, and my guess is inside theft is a pretty easy assumption, at least a dozen aluminum pennies were smuggled from the mint in 1974. But maybe due to it possibly being an inside job, only 2 have surfaced since then, one of which the mint seized. You remember the story of the 1933 gold double eagle? Same concept, just with a little less urgency from the government. They called it government property. So they took it. Anyway, it's estimated that if any of these aluminum cents surface, they could easily garner 6 figures and up. This is a rare coin, folks. All right, here we've got honorable mention number 2. This is a 1905 Indian cent struck on a quarter eagle planchet, if you can believe that. So at present, there's about 5 of these Indian cents on gold planchets that are known to be in existence. 3 are dated 1900. Another one was dated 1905. And the 5th one is a 1906. References list 1900 and 1907 gold cents in the section of mint errors. However, researcher Andrew W. Pollock III suspects what many of the rest of us do. And I quote, "This coin is listed as a mint error, but it's difficult to imagine that a mint employee would be so careless as to feed gold planchets into a press fitted with 1-cent piece dies." In other words, Pollock is suggesting that these pieces may have been deliberately struck for one or more collectors. You think? So if these were to come up for sale, they're thinking $500,000 to $1 million. That's, yeah, good luck finding these. I'm not sure anybody's really going to come to the surface with them. Hey, I told you that was going to be some crazy stuff, right? You got to have some deep pockets to play in that game. That's all I can say. Anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this 96th episode of the Silver and Gold Stack Attack. 96, steadily creeping toward that 100th episode. That's crazy, at least to me. But anyway, if you made it this far, well, kudos to you. And as always, I'll catch up with you in the next episode. But in the meantime, what you going to do? Damn right. Hell yeah, get stacked. Especially with these prices if you got good premiums out there. Stay safe. Be well, everyone. I am out of here. Peace, people.